said you're from Pasadena, like born and raised Pasadena, or
like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah.
okay, where? That's gonna be a good one.
It took me a second to guess. I thought I saw that they were coming out with like a new version of that, but it's a.
That shouldn't happen.
I started opening it and I was like, I can't even look at this because I'll put energy into it and like. I feel like you just don't mess with stuff like that.
All
like
good things have to come to an end. Like you can't do that. Especially after the last episode. I'm
trying to see how Will Smith feels about
where he's like standing in the house and it's empty, like they took all the furniture.
The very last episode.
I love how like a lot of like 90s sitcoms end with like empty houses or empty apartments or.
Oh, I have like this
Did
major
Friends do
heavy
that too?
feel in my chest now talking about it. Like I'm super nostalgic for all of them.
It's like
TV sucks now, so.
I was like, I'm good.
So do you have like is poet a cool term, or do you have your own term?
Writer.
Writer is I mean, I write poetry, but I feel like writer is a more encompassing, non-restrictive thing that I would fit better in.
I feel like that too, right? For you.
Well, I thank you.
I would say like writer and poet. I'll put writer first. Or no at all.
It's too much. It's too many questions.
I was like, that is very specific. I'll just go for.
He's a poet writer.
I'll just go for writer. Lock it in.
Lock it in. Our final answer.
We could get rid. Stay away from me.
I was like self-published author, so it's like author minus. I don't
be saying that like it's a thing.
I was like, if we were gonna be going like deep in there, it would be like internet, just like. Well, like
Part of me is curious about like this 20-word description. If you could say it all at once, what are you?
Oh, like 20-word introduction. How pedantic can I be in like 20 words? I don't want to play this game.
20 was elaborate, and it's also just an example.
Oh,
like 15.
I was like, you're asking.
He's a writer, author, poet, self-published, but don't say any of that. Ryan McMasters.
Golly, that is. Spotlight is burning my eyes.
I know it's not easy for you. You're delicate.
I mean, okay.
I mean, you've always not. I don't want to say it like that. I could say it like, you're not big on having all the spotlight on you. You can. You've navigated through it, but I don't see it ever making you super comfortable right off the bat.
I like accomplishing things, and whenever the right people that I respect tell me something, then I take it seriously. Whenever it's like a random person, like I mean, like I appreciate it, I say thank you. I'm not like a social monster, but then I'm just like I'm good. It's just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You feel like it's real superficial. Stop, yeah.
Without it sounding a certain way, but in so
I
many
was
words.
like, I like my writing. Whenever other people appreciate it, it's nice to be appreciated. If there are people that have like raised me or brought me into the family and cultivated my art and they say something, that's what I listen to more.
Okay. One of my favorite things about how you talk is how I'm watching you think while you talk. Like you are very particular and with your lineup, and I see you working it. And I really enjoy it because I think I don't think enough before I talk, let alone while I'm talking.
I'm learning that sometimes, even in my most prepared state, I still mess it up. So I'm just like...
That's the best part, though.
The best part is messing up?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Makes the performance unique.
I was like, I
have anxiety now.
I was like, that is why I'm where I'm at, and that's where you're at. I'm just like, I paralyze myself.
When you mess up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I say nothing until I've planned out everything that could go wrong, and then I just end up not doing anything at all.
Gosh, I can relate. But yeah, Devlyn, he's an executor. We have a lot of conversations about like failure being something you grow from, in other words. And I think that was what he was saying, like where he is and where you are. Like you're kind of optimistic and really warm to the idea of failure. And while some people, it freaks me out. Like I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, so
it's the best teacher. It's where you learn your lessons.
And I agree, but I feel like once that here's your failure, like I have to sit with that for a long time before I'm surfacing better from it. It doesn't happen.
Well, you have to be patient with it. That's the other part of it. You know, it's however long it takes, but you just got to know it's gonna pass. You know, you got to.
It better.
It better.
That's what I say. I'm like, it better pass. Yeah.
Sure it passes. Sure it does. Yeah.
You can still channel that. So how do you channel that?
How do I channel what?
The way you don't like failure. How do you still get productivity out of it, even though it paralyzes you?
I run.
There you go. We're talking like actual physical running.
No.
Oh.
I run away from situations where I could fail big. So I'm slowly unlearning the act of my own settling. I had a job at a medical microbiology place, and it didn't work out, and it was like my first big job. And ever since then, I've done jobs that have taught me many things, but getting like a livable wage doesn't always equate with that opportunity. I'm starting to slowly cultivate and figure out like what my worth is. I'm not saying that customer service work is bad, because I mean, like, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me It's taught me patience. It's taught me interpersonal interaction. It's also taught me the legitimacy of rage. Because sometimes people treat customer service workers like nerds in school. They think that if they give us a hard time, it makes them feel better.
It's like a power trip kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're on the other side of the counter. I've been in customer service forever, so I completely understand what you're saying. But
so
is that what you're referring to? Like, they're like,
yeah.
I'm better than you. I'm over here.
And I mean, like, society tells us that too. So, I mean, like, people can talk to you about it through body language and word choice, or we can just listen to everybody in society thinking that we are lesser. So there is definite value in working in customer service, but I'm trying to figure out what I could do that could put me in a better spot bank-wise.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm working on that in the current.
Positive manifestations all the way for that, man.
Sure.
Talk to the universe, to whatever higher power you believe in.
Sure, yeah.
It's essential. So how does customer service, like, roles and what you are doing and that kind of stuff play into your writing? You raging out on paper?
Sometimes, yeah, a couple instances. It just shows me how human we all are. It shows me customer service is a very good equalizer.
It humbles you?
It's definitely humbled me. I mean, I got a degree in microbiology and somehow I'm here. And then society would tell me like, oh, you'd probably be somewhere else now. But I mean,
you are where you are.
Yeah. And I shouldn't have to feel bad for getting an honest day's wage. It's definitely taught me humility and a lot of other things.
Are we going to hear some of that later?
Maybe not one of those poems, but I have other poems in store.
I'm really looking forward to it. Do you maybe have one you're going to do for us? I forgot to mention that. I like to mention that beforehand. That usually someone will record a poem on here.
I'll let them know.
Did you want one?
Oh, I don't know.
Like right now? I mean, do y'all have other questions?
I think I'm just creating dialogue.
Oh no, man, we're like I was saying earlier, we're just kind of
just goes back.
Yeah, just general. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, go ahead and jump into one.
For one.
I was like,
any of them.
Here's one that kind of fits a little bit tangentially. A lot of my things fit tangentially. I write and I write and I write. I create, edit, refine, and hone, but I don't look up. Someone's face, a blaring headlight, and my eyes begin to water. I clean out my closet. I don't know the difference between sentimental value and hoarding. I swim and don't put my head in the pool. There is a wall made of tissue paper. My hands are hot air. There is a wall made of fire. My breath is candle wax. There is an entire pile comprised of the dried out husks of well-meant intentions, and my legs are the next addition. I don't care enough about my embetterment, and it kills me. I have a good day. My body whiplashes back into sadness. I try to quit an addiction. My body compensates, course corrects, and backslides into another. My work is good enough for other people, but not for myself. I don't accept the lies of others because I have told myself enough to hit full capacity. I am so heavy with invisible things, and some days my laugh is the lightest part of me because it can leave. It is free, and I am still here.
That was a piece. That was the piece that you pulled that quote to send to me, right? That we had just put up on the Instagram.
Yep.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, how'd you get started doing poetry, man?
A majority of my poetry journey started the day after I graduated college.
That's a moment, huh? Like a precise
Well, I mean,
piece of time.
I was a very obedient child, and my parents told me that my coursework was my job. So I didn't have inspiration whenever I had deadlines. I mean, I was good in all of my English classes, despite the fact that I got a microbiology degree, and after all the deadlines and the projects and the homework assignments were finished, my mind was able to wander a little bit, and some of the words just wouldn't stop coursing through until I emptied it out somewhere. So I started writing, and then I was a groomsman for a couple of my friends, and I met a guy, Bill Moran. We were both...
He's featured for us before.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Good. I was introduced to his poetry before I met him, while I was waiting for him to arrive for the groomsmen festivities. And after that, my friend James McDaniel told me, oh, hey, I want to bring you somewhere. As pesky and mischievous as he was, he didn't tell me where we were going. He just said, like, I just want my friends to hear your poetry. He didn't tell me that it was a public place in a bar in College Station. And I happened to meet Bill in the parking lot on the way there. So, kismet, I guess. Pointed serendipity. And then I started talking to those people. They seemed to enjoy the stuff that I wrote. And then whenever I asked other people to join me and they weren't able to go, and then I went by myself, that was like one of the first times that I was like, I'm choosing something for myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that is my origin story, I suppose.
And you've just continued that path. It's your thing for yourself, no matter what else is going on.
Yeah.
Did that really feel like? So I mean, sir. So I can actually guess you're not the biggest fan of big public places and things like that.
He can guess.
I'm not. I'm just guessing because I was definitely that way for a while, and then especially like when I was younger. But then my dad was always taking me to like these huge events with a bunch of people and stuff, and it took me a while to get used to that, especially like going up like in band, like in school band. I was terrified like our first like little concert because it was, you know.
I was raised by two introverts, so I didn't have much of a shot. Do y'all want to hang out? That's never been like something that's exited my mouth. It's like whenever an extrovert in my friend group invites someone else, I'm just like, like that's how I deal with it. Like,
I can feel it.
Like inclusion is always nice, but also small groups are also nice.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of intimacy, so that's what I appreciate more.
Less is more, yeah.
Yeah, quality over
Socially
quantity.
wise. Sure.
Yeah. Whenever so I started out at mic check, and then I took a brief siesta because I was in a leadership position at mic check, and then the place that I lived at was no longer an option, so I moved back to Pasadena with my parents, and then I ended up going to Right About Now, and I knew about that because Amir Safi was in both places. The seed planter, as it were.
Most definitely.
And
how'd you meet those guys?
I just met him in passing at Mic Check, and then he gave me some opportunities to perform Revolution Bar. He's definitely a gate opener, and he knows how to utilize that position, and he's made it more efficient and prevalent wherever he touches the ground.
Shout out to Amir Safi.
Yeah.
He's okay.
What? Take that gas back down, huh?
Yeah, just like it's like give and take. It's a tango with my encouragement. I just don't want anybody to have a big head.
A pot of water, you don't want it to boil. It can simmer a little bit.
Do you know how to reduce the boiling of water? Add a little salt.
Add a little salt.
Like that's how it goes. I'm.
Is that a true like chemistry thing?
Yeah. Well, it works for a second, then it's going to be boiling again. But technically, you can add just about anything to boiling water that's not the same temperature, and it's going to lower it for a second. Yeah, slow your boil. It's
almost like a universal law when you can use it physically and just mentally. It's interesting.
Is that salt?
It's
You just don't stop putting that salt in there.
No,
put a little sprinkle.
Just little sprinkles.
Kosher salt.
Oh man, that's cool.
But every Wednesday, I think about Amir, and he does every Wednesday. Like we were showing each other lists of names and features, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, my complaints are no good here." Not right about now.
I mean, your emotions are valid, and you have kids, so I mean, you're basically Superwoman. It's fine.
Thank you.
Oh, are you talking about the same Amir that was on this show?
Yeah, Amir. No, you're thinking of Omer.
Omer. Okay, Amir.
Amir Safi. Omer.
Okay. Amir. Okay, so I was about to say. I was like.
Yeah, everybody
Amir.
does
I was
it.
like Amir. Okay, sweet. I have been corrected.
He'll be on this show soon.
Yes, he will.
Good.
Amir's gonna do for Tarina's feature. He's gonna come down and do the podcast with her.
Oh, sweet. We will look
that's
forward
the
to
date.
that.
Like we had to coordinate whatever date worked for him, and it fell on hers, and everybody's fangirling. It'll be a really cool episode.
Yeah, it'll be a super cool episode. Shout out.
And it's National Poetry Month. So.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And Zach will be our other feature next month. So.
March is National Poetry Month. Something I did not know.
And Ryan is, it's our anniversary so no pressure, but I'm excited for you to kick off the next year.
This is the anniversary event.
Yeah, I'm just like.
It isn't like last year we did like a group feature with people who are really part of Coast to Soul, and that's kind of changed a little bit. Things are organically evolving and naturally, and so it just wasn't that big of a group necessarily. And I mean, I was excited for you to just say yes, so that's why I was like, yeah, okay, you get this date. And I'm very excited that it's our anniversary.
Super cool. Is this the second or the third?
2 year.
I feel like it's been like 3 years.
Last year was the 1 year, and we got married that day. We were across the street. Remember your dad was bartending?
Yep, he was bartending.
And I've never seen Visker bartender. Like, he owns a bar, so
okay.
Bartending. That was great.
He doesn't do it very well.
I got back there, and I was pouring everybody tequila shots and Capri Suns for the kids. I was just like,
I thought you were doing like mixed drinks, and I'm like,
I don't mix.
Hey, a Capri Sun and some tequila would probably be really good.
That sounds
like a Pacific cooler and some.
But the kids were going up to the bar and ordering Capri Suns from the bar at the reception thing. They're like, "Yeah, how about one of them juices with the straws?"
Wow,
steady on a Tuesday.
That is developing an interesting habit in the future.
It was a wedding.
That's fun though, but did you guys get the reception spot across the street on purpose?
That was gifted and donated to us as an engagement present. Like everybody came through for the wedding.
That's pretty tight.
Okay, so Cool to Be Kind.
Huh?
The art wall.
Oh yeah.
Aaron.
The C2BK with the bee suit.
Right.
Okay, that's who that is.
She's great, and she really does a lot with the community, and she's all over and knows a lot of people. And I met her through Justin, because he was doing that wall, and she had gotten it at an auction or something. She had won a gift certificate for X amount of money for that particular reception hall.
Oh, word.
And then we had a little engagement get together, and she just gave it to us. She's like, I'm not going to use this if you want, and it's open for your wedding. And so And then your dad.
That like perfectly worked out.
Yeah, it was really
good. That's pretty cool.
And that's
how
a
you know.
Spot in Galveston.
Yeah,
really
well, y'all had a really cool spot for y'all's wedding too, with the tree over there. With
where Mel climbed in. I saw her today. She did this.
Yeah, Mel and Mel and Jim with the tree. But I think that's cool though how universally that just lined up perfectly to where it just so happened to be poetry night, like when we're on there.
That wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, and
it stressed me out. I was like, I can't feature. I'm supposed to feature. I'm getting married. I can't do it. And then Zach couldn't go to the wedding because he was hosting.
And then you get a free reception place at a place across the street.
Yeah, and so I walked across, and there was all that shit going on. Remember, it was
the construction and shit.
So I was in my wedding dress, going over these big holes in concrete, and all of my family that has never seen me do anything came over, and I felt really bad because we packed it, and then they all came back.
Oh dear.
It was cool enough that you got to run over on one of the most important days of your life.
Everybody got my elotes and I didn't, so they did good. I was like, come over, come eat my food. Everybody, people I didn't know.
That's super cool though.
It was cool, and
sounds very communal.
That's how it is around here.
Okay.
That's why I think it's really really great. Like when Devlyn and me talked podcasts. I don't know, like a year and a half ago or something. Like we just were talking about podcasts.
Yeah, that was back in
I remember
in June.
That post you made. You were like, "What if I do this?"
Oh yeah, that was like
that was a long time ago.
That was in like May or no, yeah, it was like May or June. Yeah, because I went to Mexico in June. It was totally in May. Yeah, I was just like, just BS'd like.
And I was like, I'd love to do that too, but you totally came through.
Yeah, well, I just threw it out there, and then because I know a lot of people on Facebook, but I'm usually like sharing dumb stuff. I don't really say much, but I was just like, hey, if I did this, would anybody listen to it? And then it gets like 130 likes and like 40 comments, like hell yeah, and I'm like, oh okay, well that's cool. I appreciate y'all. I was just bullshitting. I was sitting here, maybe had a couple drinks in my room, and I was like, what if I did this?
Yeah, just Google some podcast stuff, set it up.
Well, I was actually this happened. Shout out my uncle Mark Conley. He was the one that believed in the vision and wanted to help me get it done. But we were on our family trip, and I just mentioned it like same way I did on Facebook is BSing because we were watching. If y'all haven't seen it, I'm actually about to plug a show on Netflix right now. But there's a show called Hip Hop Evolution. Mm-hmm. Season 1 and 2. We were watching that. Our family rented a villa out there, so we're taking a chill day because we went and did a bunch of stuff the day before. So we're just hanging out.
My villa.
Yes, it was great. But everybody was hungover, so there's one of those days where it's just like we just want to chill on the couch and watch movies. But we were watching that show, and we were just like watching because they're showing how like Dre and them did stuff, and then there's the I think it's not Outliers. It's some there's another documentary on there where it shows how they came up, but it was showing their creation story, and I was like, man, I want to do something with that. I know all these musicians, here in Galveston, and all these poets, and I was like, I just want to do something where I just want to talk to them. I started listening to podcasts, and I was like, what if I made a podcast? And he was just like,
same, yeah.
He's like, well, do you want to do that shit? And I was like, well, I don't know how I do it. He's like, I'll help you do it. And I was like, and so I was like, all right, yeah. Fuck it. So, but here we are.
That's awesome.
And it's super cool. And this is a great way to lead into this. So there's a part of this show, as you read on the culture and values page, the biggest thing is I want other artists that may get discouraged or may have had, like ups and downs with their art. And what could you say to them just from your own personal experience that could keep them on their path? Maybe something that maybe if you felt down about your poetry, but something brought you back into it, or what is something that you could tell them to keep going?
Something that I've learned over the past couple of years specifically is you don't have to pick a side. So some people think like, oh, slam poets can only be slam poets, or page poets can only be page poets, or like they're different sections because people like to differentiate to make themselves feel special. But I've been trying to bridge the gap over the past couple of years, just like apply to a lot of places, go to poetry venues whenever I can. I mean, you don't have to be one thing. There's no identity binary. Like it's not either or. It can be both. And sometimes if you get too much pressure from either side, you can be neither. Because sometimes people will want you to be a certain thing, and then rather than hearing the guff, like you can remove yourself from the situation. And that's not a coward's way out. That's self-preservation, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself first. And yeah, we were talking about that. Steph and I were talking about that the other day, just about how when the whenever the word selfish became like demonized, because I mean there's a bad way to be there's a bad way to be selfish.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Being selfish in the way that, because a lot of people are just like, but what about the others? What about taking care of other people? It's like, well, if you don't take care of yourself first, then you won't be fit to help others.
Yeah.
So I'm totally down with that. It's very nice.
Growing up in the Baptist church, like, I mean, it's never bad to help someone unless it's siphoning so much of yourself, it debilitates you from doing anything. Because sometimes selflessness can become like a parasite. Because it's like, I want to help so much, but someone is taking more and more of me and not giving back in reciprocation. So you end up being empty or withered, or
ran dry,
expired. Yeah. And I'm it's not like I'm unlearning my Christianity, but I'm just unlearning the toxic parts that are self-seeking from other people. Because I love to help people. My dad is one of the most, if not the most sacrificial person I know. He provides, he withholds, like, if you needed the shirt off his back, he'd do it. That kind of thing. My dad is wonderful. My mom is wonderful. Both are very different reasons. But my dad is and has been so willing to help other people that sometimes it takes a toll on his health. I have seen in real time that sometimes helping without putting yourself at least slightly in the forefront has consequences.
Yeah. If you're not replenishing your own energy, I don't know. Try speaking analogies of, if you keep giving someone your lunch every day, they're gonna be full, but you're gonna be over here starving.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That's my plate.
No, I feel that you got to just eat,
Take
first, share a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. That's
real. I get with food analogies like all day. Honestly, you just started talking about lunch, and I was like, I missed that.
I would like that.
Yeah. Definitely gave like 1 million kids food today, and not myself. Same thing.
Well, for your poetry, for all the for the listeners, man, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at McMasterwriter.
How you spell that?
RMCMASTEWRITER. I'm not on Facebook, and it's given me so much clarity and peace. So
everybody's blowing you up anyways.
I'm just because I'm so popular all the time.
I think Omar actually did something. He was like, since Ryan's just pretty much ducking and dodging everything on Facebook, I'm gonna put this out here. He did this like whole thing with the event and shared it, and it was
he did
very Omar, and I was like, hell yeah.
That's something he does.
Yeah, they were doing. Him and Serena were working on that when I ran up on it earlier.
Oh goodness.
That's cool though, man.
Family.
It's really cool because it shows how much they care about you. Like they want you to succeed, and they want you to, like they want people to know how badass you are with your poetry, man.
You know what?
I mean, from those two pieces, I can tell you're pretty badass, man.
Dadgummit, thank you. Yeah, Omer is. Omer is like hides behind like this Lot's wife size version of Salt, but like whenever he goes for you and he's behind you, like it doesn't stop.
And that's like, I feel like he doesn't do that for a lot of people. Like, it's really wonderful to have people like that.
Yeah.
Pushing you. And you say they don't like anybody, a lot of times not even themselves, but they love you and they push you.
The fact that they, like, just go wholeheartedly, it's a lot, but it's wonderful to see past their ridiculousness. It's like, oh, let's see.
Like, see the soft?
I'm in a group chat with Omer and another person, Elise Crispy, and it's just like this. We're all wading water. We're all like wading in the sea, and like we don't mind if we drown, but we just
don't want each other to.
Yeah, so that's how it works.
I'm sorry. I like in my brain. I'm picturing like the three of you in a group chat.
Oh,
waiting.
It's
gassing each other up.
I was like,
immensely.
It's wonderfully destructive. Yeah,
it's a good band name.
Yeah. I'm here all day, folks, and by all day I mean like maybe for the next 20 minutes or less. I don't know what time it is.
Oh yeah, I guess it is.
I
guess it is getting that time.
It's getting that time.
All right. Well, you gave us a shout out where we can find you online, and man, wishing you the best tonight on the stage, man.
Thank you so much for coming to feature. It's a spring equinox tomorrow, guys. New beginnings. All the metaphorical shit. That's what poetry's about.
I was like, I don't know about all that, but I mean, good factoid, good Snapple bottle cap.
I'm just throwing optimism and positive stuff at you, whether you want it or not.
You know what? Good. I will put it in my pocket.
I don't take it or get it as much, so I like to just give it a lot. Take it all from me. This is the only positive I got.
I am willing to gas you up outside of horoscope imagery.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Most people just stay inside that realm.
I stay outside that realm.
As far as possible.
But, I mean, we'll figure it out.
I feel your appreciation through the words you don't have.
Yeah.
Promise.
I got it.
All right, you guys. Well, Ryan, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Emily, thank you for coming back.
Of course. See you in a few weeks.
Yeah, in a few weeks. All right, you guys. Artists in Depth podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us and give us a 5-star and continue the run-on sentence.
Come get awkward.
Share.
That's what we do.
Do all that stuff for us. It'd be greatly appreciated. Shout out to us if you got an artist you'd like to hear or you want to come in for an episode. And shout out to my listeners in California. I gotta shout them out, man. I got some regular listeners in California. I don't know who you are.
Are you looking at your demographics?
I am.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And you see like everybody who has listened all the like. How does it look? When
it gives me like a general, just like it doesn't not specifics. It's just like how many people like started. A listen counts as like playing it for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So, well, you get automatic plays if you have an intro song. They'll listen to your intro song.
There you go.
I don't know. All right, you guys. Ryan, Emily, we out.
All right.
You've been listening to the Artists in Depth podcast, motivating creative minds through artistic exploration. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to give us a rating or a positive review. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can email us at vonpatrickarts@gmail.com. That is VONPATRICK@gmail.com. Thank you very much, and we look forward to talking to you.